Hello everybody, welcome to the Customer Relationship Management course in the SWAYAM NPTEL platform. This is Dr. Shagata Chatterjee from Vijisom IIT Kharagpur who is taking this course for you. We are in week 4 and we are discussing the case on Tchibo ideas. So, in the last class, in the last video basically I have asked you to read about Tchibo ideas. I have given some basic presentation about Tchibo. And I also tell what Tchibo idea is. It is basically a crowdsourcing platform where the ideas are generated, where the customers put their problems, the designers give solutions to those problems, and then again the customers vote or like or dislike the solutions. And the solutions which get very large number of votes are generally converted to a product and then sold as innovative products in Tchibo Direct and in Tchibo depots and Tchibo shops. And even if it is not converted to a product, the designer will get some money as prize money. So, that was the overall concept. And the questions that I asked you is, will increased focus on Tchibo ideas and consumer power will be helpful. So, rather than becoming a company which sells coffee, then sells products and then sells experience, now sells I do not know what they do with idea generation. The question is whether this should be major focus or the previous thing was selling will be the major focus. Then should Tchibo use the platform only to create, only to source ideas, only to learn from the customers, or they will use it as a mass production platform. So, what is the mass production platform we will try to discuss later, and should it be only an add-on to its technological product development process. So, these are the overall questions that we are trying to go. So, what is this goal of this platform? I told the goal of the platform is one is to create customer involvement, is a customer co-creation. So, you try to involve the customers in the idea innovation generation process, and you make this particular I would say you try to make the customers more involved in the product generation process. You try to help them in designing the solutions, the designers and the customers come together. See how well the customers explain their problems is also related to how well the designers will actually be able to answer the problems, and then that will ultimately lead to the ultimate results of the particular thing. So, all of these things comes together, and the platform's major goal is to bring all these people together in one single place. So, make customers feel accepted and needed by the company, that is one of the major goals. Develop new products obviously, increase assortment, replace internal product development process. Rather than a product development process which is in-house, they are doing it out-house. Develop new ideas, start on internet ventures. So, this is also one of the important things, because Tchibo Direct, if you remember, Tchibo Direct is a retail store, but retail store was just coming in at that point of time. Now, Tchibo idea is also probably will complement Tchibo Direct in terms of new product innovations pitching in or going inside Tchibo Direct at every point of time. So, it will start a new internet venture. It will also obviously grab attention and will be used as a marketing strategy, and it can also create knowledge about the customer. So, all of these things were the major overall goal of this particular platform. Now, how my question is that how will Tchibo idea impact Tchibo? So, will increased focus on Tchibo ideas will be helpful. So, there are obviously certain pros and cons for this thing. So, first of all you have to understand that Tchibo was a traditional company. We started this case and we discussed about the customers, and who are the customers of Tchibo? Tchibo's average customer was 50 years old, and Tchibo's 80% customers were women, majorly customers who were moms buying products for their kids, that was a separate segment, and kids becoming elders in the life cycle, kids becoming elders, and then they are buying the similar kind of innovative products for their own kids. So, if this is my target customer, on the other hand, if I talk about Tchibo idea, in Tchibo idea the customer base changes, because now I am focusing on those kind of customers who are primarily tech savvy. That has to be the primary objective, because if you are not tech savvy, you will not even go to the internet and you can write your problem. This describe your problem, probably vote for a solution. That kind of thing will go away. So, primarily I am focusing on tech savviness, and tech savviness is oftentimes correlated with low age, and low age is not something probably young and probably 20s, 30s, 40s are not something which is Tchibo's major customer base. So, there are some pros and cons of having a new customer base. One is the cons are very specific. You are delving in a new place, so you are not focusing on your old already established customers, which is a problem. But these are the customers who are also getting higher willingness to pay, or who have some fresh money in their hand, not 20s, but at least in 30s or 40s they have fresh money in their hand. They have some amount of money to spend on their on luxurious consumption or in innovative products also. So, and these people will be in the customer base for the next 20-30 years. So, that is also and internet is changing the overall game, the overall market environment. So, you have to embrace internet. So, given all of these things, there are some pros and cons of this decision, but probably there will be a slight I would say a bend towards the pros rather than the cons. Now, Tchibo brand image and Tchibo Ideas brand image were also different. Tchibo brand image was more related to tradition, more related to, I would say, more related to something that you can believe on. On the other hand, Tchibo idea is more innovative, more young. So, if I just write the Tchibo person and the Tchibo idea person, the Tchibo person will be somebody who is again middle aged. So, if I do the personification, accomplished, pro society, you can believe him, something like that. On the other hand, Tchibo idea, if I try to personify this particular people, he will be in his 30s probably, and also well connected and sharp in terms IQ and etc., and very artistic. So, this person who is a traditional person, and this person, this two idea, and the people who will associate, see, oftentimes brand association with a particular brand actually leads to more sales or more brand loyalty and etc. So, that the people who will associate with the first one and people who will associate with the second one are also different. And why will consumers join Tchibo idea? What is the current number? You can go and check that what is the current number of Tchibo idea. So, this is something that is also an important question. So, initially the consumers were getting solutions, and they were giving problems, and somebody were giving the solutions. But you remember that customers have to pay for the solutions. They were getting the solutions which is more fitting their problem, but ultimately they have to pay. So, the customers might start thinking that what is in it for me? What will I get if I go on and do this thing? So, that kind of a problem was also coming up. Now, Tchibo idea, the next question is that whether it should be used as a marketing platform or this will be used as a production platform. So, the question is that can Tchibo idea replace the product development process of Tchibo? Now, you have to understand that 40 out of 2000 products per week comes from Tchibo ideas. This is a thing that we found from the from various cases and etc. That okay, every week there were 2000 new ideas were getting generated, 2000 various products every year. That means what, 2000 by 50 odd, that means around 40 products every week. That was the case. There were only 40 products every week, and if this is not written anywhere. So, you have to understand that 40 out of 2000 products every week were from Tchibo ideas. So, that is not a very huge number. So, if it is not a very huge number, then I cannot say that with these 40 products I can go for a mass scale production. So, that was a challenge. And the original Tchibo products were repetitive in nature. So, the same products which were more common were repetitive, because the same products were being used. So, that was actually affecting the innovative idea. So, that is, but these kind of products are also mass scale product. So, this is something that they have to take care of, that whether I will go ahead with this mass scale production of repetitive products, because repetitive products make me boring, but gives me money. So, what they did, or what makes better sense, is basically a combination of Tchibo original products, which is boring but good quality and good price, with Tchibo idea products, which is young, crazy, innovative kind of products, but they are more pricey, means you have to pay a lot, and probably they are not very popular, as popular as the original Tchibo products. So, you have to create a combination of that. So, I cannot say that Tchibo idea will absolutely replace the Tchibo's normal product generation process, because normal product generation process contributes to the rest 1960 products out of 30,000, and they also make money for the Tchibo ideas. Is like a marketing platform, it cannot be a product development platform, unless they make it a open kind of marketplace. But it's they make it an innovation marketplace, where anybody without the Tchibo brand, anybody can sell innovative products in this Tchibo platform, and Tchibo will only take some royalty or some cut, some margin out of that particular thing. Obviously, there will be some checks and balances of what kind of product, what is the quality, and etc. Then this same platform can be used as a product development process, but that product development will be done by somebody else, selling will be done by somebody else, but this same platform can become overall a different kind of business model altogether. It has that potential, but they have not done that at that point of time. What are the pros and cons of coming up with a new product idea or new customer? So, the pros are the customer engagement is good in case of Tchibo ideas, the innovation is good, you are targeting a very niche market, so you can probably charge more, the price can be charged more. It reduces costs, as it was telling, the 20-30% marketing cost has been reduced. So, if you can charge more and your price has come down, so that will improve your profitability. Obviously, it also gives media attention, less chance of imitation, because every day new products are coming up and you are future ready. So, there are lots of pros, as I was telling, that you will have more inclination towards the pros. The cons are that they are not mass products. So, you cannot, these are not cash cows, these are stars, but you have to have your cash cows alive. So, you have to have the original Tchibo products alive. This can be only used for newer products, which will keep you ahead of your competition in the business. Obviously, the cons are, if you do not do this, you will be a late follower, because ultimately you have to embrace technology, you have to embrace internet. So, the faster you do, the better. And consumers and designers skepticism, this is something that has to be tackled by giving them more opportunities, by sharing more money with them, or by giving discounted prices to consumers in the initial days. So, those, see, if you have to understand that those customers who are giving the solutions, they are more prone to buy the product in the initial days. So, rather than a classic market skimming kind of approach, where this is the demand, this is the price, and you skim it, you take each of this the small pies one by one, you skim through the cake one layer by one layer. Instead of doing that, you should give. So, skimming means that when an innovation comes into the market, you will see that initially the price is very high, and slowly it comes down. Slowly it comes down. Why? Because in the high price, you want to capture only the first few customers who are willing to pay that much high. And then in the next time period, you reduce the price a little bit and again capture a few more customers. And this is how you go on. So, rather than rather than putting one single price, if this is the demand curve, this is price, this is demand. If you put one single price, you get this much money. This is the price, this is the demand, so the area is the revenue. But if you can put small prices and if you can change the prices over time, in the first time period you get this much, in the second time period you get this much, in the third time period you get this much, and so on. And you can understand by doing this, if you continue going on, you can get the whole area. And this whole area is obviously higher than this area. So, this is called market skimming strategy, and that is what generally the companies do when they are trying to come up with an innovation. But what in this particular case, what the customers might feel that, see, I am there in the innovation generation process. So, what I am getting out of it? So, instead of doing this kind of market skimming, if you do something like this, so instead of doing this, let us say for the first few days, you keep the price not this high, but somewhere here. So, you give the price here, so you get this much money, and after that you start the skimming. So, see, the initial guys who were there in the innovation generation process will also have the highest willingness to pay. Now, they have willingness to pay this much and you are charging them this much. So, this dotted area is basically the consumer surplus that they take away. So, they get benefited, they are happy. The customer surplus means whatever the customers are getting extra over and above whatever they wanted. So, that customer surplus is something that they are happy with, and then this skepticism will come down. And obviously, for the designers, you have to create more margin for them, better, if not margin, at least better recognition for them, so that they get recognized and people outside your platform also starts appreciating this particular people. So, that kind of opportunities has to be created. Tchibo Ideas obviously in the future has done that. So, that is probably all for this particular case that we discussed, and it was a nice case on Tchibo Ideas. We will keep on going and discussing this kind of cases in the coming videos. Thank you very much. In the next video, we will discuss about customer equity and how that can be analyzed in the context of CRM. Thank you very much. See you in the next video.